Yo, what's going on, everybody? It's your main man, Six Paths Junga, coming to you guys again with yet another reaction video. Okay, so this one was on the list of videos to react to. It's by Naruto Explained. Boruto's best chance to slow down Jura isn't a new power, it's him. Now, I want to see why you guys wanted me to react to this video. Maybe it's just the fact that you guys like seeing me react to videos, I don't know. But I don't think there's anything like really interesting about this title. It could be what's in the video, but yeah, we gotta see. First off, I want to say before we get into the video, make sure you guys go subscribe to Naruto Explain. If you guys like Boruto content like this, then you're going to enjoy his videos. If you don't already know who he is, because he's pretty popular. So anyway, yeah, go subscribe to Naruto Explain. I'm going to leave the link to his channel down below in the description. So if you guys are like lazy or whatever, you know, just go down there and click it. It'll bring you right to his channel. Go ahead, subscribe, and yeah, without further ado, let's just hop into it.
There are bad days, and then there's the day where the strongest monster on the planet walks up to your village asking where the nearest coffee shop is. Jura showing up in Konoha isn't scary because he wants to destroy the village. It's scary because for the first time, someone smart enough to outplay Shikamaru might also be patient enough to let him try. And if Kashin Koji's warning means what it sounds like it means, Shikamaru's newest strategy isn't beating Jura, it's distracting him long enough that Himawari never ends up in the same room with him. Join me in today's newest Naruto Explained video.
Hold on, first I want to say off the rip, he might be cooking. Do you know how disrespectful it is for someone to walk up in your crib, walk up in your territory, and say, you know what, I'm gonna kick my feet up on the table, I'm gonna lay back, might order a few pieces using your debit card, and you can't do nothing about it, you just gotta let it be. That's essentially what Jura is doing right now. He's egging Shikamaru on to kind of like do something about it, right? And you know, taking into account that whatever Kashin Koji says holds some level of merit to it. So I do kind of remember Koji telling Shikamaru that whenever Jura comes into the village, just let him be. Like, the number one thing you do not want to do is upset him, because if you do, you'll have a 0% chance of winning. Absolute none. So was there a future where Shikamaru actually did something? Maybe he sent some jonin after Jura and then he just got pissed off. He's like, you know what? F all this. I'm destroying the village, everything you hold dear. Is it something like that? Or maybe in that future, Shikamaru sent a key piece to go attack Jura. Maybe Himawari or Team 10. You know, maybe he sent them after Jura, and then Himawari got devoured or something like that. And then the chances of winning dropped right back down to 0. Or it could be something like that. It could be something like that, because there's obviously a reason that Koji is telling Shikamaru, like, yo, just let him chill. I mean, the most logical reason he's telling him this is just to be like, you know what? We don't have the skills to beat Jura right now. So for right now, we're just gonna let him do what he wants. But when the time comes, we'll get him. Maybe something like that. Let me know what you guys think.
The newest visions from Boruto's last chapter with Kashin Koji may have quietly revealed one of the smartest decisions that Shikamaru's ever made as Hokage. Because at first glance, the images look ridiculous. And somewhere Studio Piero's filler team is coming up with whole filler arcs for each of these scenarios.
That's crazy.
We see Jura, the almighty leader of the Shinju, sitting
I forgot
down
to make
and
a
having
video
drinks
on
with
this.
Shikamaru.
Wow.
He's shown what appears to be Jura actually cooking, as in preparing food. The Boruto anime team's hard on for filler content is...
No, that's actually going to be an underrated aspect. I mean, I don't even know if it's going to happen next chapter, but whenever it does, oh, that's going to be amazing. By the looks of it, it looks like Shikamaru and Jura are just like sitting down having a little chat. Like, what can they be talking about right here? Like, I can imagine Jura just telling something, maybe threatening Shikamaru or something like that to reveal Himawari's location, or, you know, something might happen like the destruction of Konoha. Like, Shikamaru, he does not look happy. I mean, obviously, he's not gonna look happy with Jura right next to him, but man, what can they be talking about?
The idea of the biggest monster in the manga right now being inside of Konoha, soaking in all the vibes like it's nothing.
I see why y'all wanted
to on the verge of crashing out and Momoshiki taking over is something that feels like story of two opposing forces being kept further apart for a bigger story later on down the line. In fact, this might be a setup for more than just a Boruto versus Jura rematch. The glimpses at the possible futures, they carry a dark reminder of how dangerous the situation is. Kashin Koji says it outright earlier on in Boruto, way back during the last chapter before that Sand Village arc started. He says that when Jura is in Konoha, you treat him like he is the most important person in the village. No questions asked. His warning wasn't Jura will destroy Konoha immediately, but people focus too much on the fact that Jura won't destroy Konoha and not on the conditions that Kashin Koji laid out. Under one specific scenario, will Jura set down the book, set down the dango, and blow up the village? If someone provokes him, his love for Konoha will take a back seat and he will choose violence.
No, literally, like, if Jura is in Konoha talking to Shikamaru, does Kashin Koji tell Boruto this? Or you know what? He might be busy trying to save Sarada that this might happen while Boruto is trying to do that. So it's like the perfect distraction. If Jura is in Konoha having a chat, having some tea with Shikamaru, while Boruto is just casually trying to save Sarada, then I could see this mission working out. Because I always wondered, how is Boruto going to get to Sarada when Jura is right there? You know what I mean? Like, how is that going to be possible? Code and Hidari, that sounds way better than Jura, Code, and Hidari. Like, literally. But at the same time, I don't know if these two events are happening at the same time. Because as we know, Jura is like, I don't want to say head over heels for Hidari, but it kinda is. At that point, he can just use the Rinnegan to share the links between the Rinnegan to know whenever Boruto is there. He'll know. Like, if Boruto is in the Ten Tails base, Jura is going to know. So it's just a matter of fact as to how he's going to take that. Is he just gonna rush back to fight Boruto, or is he gonna be like, you know what, I'll let things play out despite my attachment towards Hidari? Now, I wouldn't say Jura is that reactive. It's not like as soon as he senses Boruto, he's gonna head right back. I mean, I feel like one time he did that. But there is a possibility that Jura just lets things play out. So I don't know, these visions are kinda convoluted in a way. Like, how do they all link together? How can you link Shikamaru and Jura's conversation to Boruto's mission to go rescue Sarada? And then remember, you got the vision where Shiki emerges and you see Kawashiki. So are they fighting? Are they fighting against the Shinju? If it was just Hidari and Code, he probably wouldn't need to do that. But if Jura is there, I can see why things have escalated so far. So like I said, everything doesn't match up, Maybe that conversation between Jura and Shikamaru happens way later in the series. Let me know what you guys think.
You have to remember, in the last arc, Kobu was almost killed by a divine tree person. The idea there being yet another one inside the village is going to be something that does not sit well with him, and it may cause him to have a lapse in judgment. You avoid that by having Shikamaru there with Jura. You avoid that by having Shikamaru keep Jura occupied and away from Konoha Shinobi, and more importantly, away from someone like Kobu. It's no different than a guard mission for a VIP. It may feel like babysitting, but you do the mundane things like that for the sake of keeping them appeased. What better way to have Jura feel like a VIP than to have the guy escorted by the Hokage of the village for his latest visit? There isn't a better option. On Shikamaru's end, it shows he's tactical, he's adaptable, he's humble enough to take on a mission for the sake of the village that is beneath him. Yet, the mark of a leader is also understanding when you have to step out and get your hands dirty,
really?
Even if it means doing something that normally you wouldn't. Thinking about Shikamaru's character, nobody expects him to be the super strong guy that can take down Jura. Even if you gave him every jutsu in Naruto, every Kekkei Genkai, Shikamaru would only manage to get Jura annoyed when the time came to fight.
I don't know about that. Hold on now.
Can't beat him yet. Kawaki can't beat him yet.
There's some overpowered jutsu in
the
series.
If Jura says to bark, you better ask what kind of dog bark does he want to hear, and how loud and how long does he need to bark. In almost every timeline Kashin Koji sees, the results, it's basically the same thing. Jura kills everyone. Shikamaru is a man with a million plans. But in this scenario, there is no hidden notebook label how to defeat a literature-loving, planet-destroying divine tree person. That means the only option is literally appeasement and patience. Shikamaru doesn't win battles of physical or mental state by being the strongest. He wins them based on his assessments that he patiently gathers, and he wins them through his mind. Buying time will also pay other benefits.
He's actually spitting, because throughout the whole series, it never seemed like Jura was the type of guy to be taken down with raw force. It just leaves me completely profound about how intelligent Jura actually is. The way he can think deep about something. Exactly, like wanting to know the concept of love. That's why I said, like, and I know I'm gonna get a lot of like backlash when I say this. Even though Naruto cannot beat Jura at all, like he has no hopes of beating Jura, Naruto is ironically the perfect person to confront Jura one-on-one. If there was one person who can get into Jura's head and kind of make him think about things, it would be Naruto. You know, at the end of the day, I still think Jura's instincts would take over, which would cause him to like still want to devour Naruto. But at the end of the day, if there was anybody who can get into Jura's head, make him think about certain things, you know, hold an engaging conversation with him about the history of the shinobi world, and possibly, just possibly, talk him down out of doing certain things, it would be Naruto. I guarantee it. So like I said, Jura never seemed like the character to be able to be defeated with raw force. You're going to have to use your brain when dealing with Jura. If you want to defeat him, you got to outsmart him. You got to lead him astray. You got to sell him something, sell him a dream, put him in the exact position you want him, and then just get rid of him. Like, you kind of got to be heartless when dealing with him. Now, if he actually catches on and he gets angry, then that's the end of it. So that's why I'm saying it's going to take a very smart person to deal with the likes of Jura. For a person who can come up with a plan other than Naruto to kind of trick Jura, I feel like Shikamaru might be that guy. So this conversation between Jura and Shikamaru may be way more important than we all realize. It's a chance for Shikamaru to be face to face with his enemy and kind of gauge how he thinks and just the way he moves. It's at that moment Shikamaru might be able to devise a strategy to defeat him, just off his insane IQ. But for that, he would need to be able to stay in the Hokage seat a little bit longer. So that's why Lord Kobu is such a problem right now. Because if Shikamaru is not Hokage, it becomes way harder to execute a way or just execute a plan to beat Jura.
Jura has shown himself to be one thing, if nothing else, when you pay attention to all of his scenes. He is chatty, very chatty. People focus on how strong he is, but
exactly,
it's
I just said it.
Curiosity that has always intrigued me.
Exactly.
He, from the very beginning, was the one looking into what it meant to be human and trying to understand the aspects of humanity. The more he looked into it, the more questions he got. Every answer led to more questions. He enjoys experiences. He enjoys conversations. Someone like Shikamaru provides both of them to him.
And Naruto.
Ironically, even though something like this would be viewed as beneath the Hokage, in a way, this is the type of mission that only a Hokage should ever take. Jura's curiosity can be used against him, but it ironically also makes him unpredictable. Someone simple-minded like Mamushi, or a goof like Ryu, or a simp like Matsuri, they are easy to predict and easy to manipulate.
Simp.
That's how Kashin Koji was able to come up with perfect scenarios to take them down. Notice he don't have a perfect scenario for Jura. Someone like Jura isn't easy to place into a category. Jura is adaptable.
So you guys see when I say that Naruto would low-key be the perfect person to hold a conversation with Jura? It's not about power with him. You gotta meet him in the middle. Because Jura is so curious about a lot of things, you can use that against him. Remember, these beings, these divine trees, are not that old. They're like, at most, probably a month old. You know, a month old, at best. So their minds are still raw. You can put information in Jura's head that will be used against him later on. That's why it's so important to be able to talk to him. You know, and like I said, Shikamaru is the perfect person, you know, since Naruto isn't available. So that's why I'm saying this is important right here. This conversation could lead to Jura's defeat. He just got to play his cards right. It's an impossible mission that only Shikamaru can handle.
Himawari isn't just the daughter of Naruto. She's also the target of Jura. That goes hand in hand with curiosity. Jura originally came to Konoha looking for Naruto, but then he sensed the Nine Tails inside of Himawari. Curiosity was triggered. When he attempted to kill Inojin, he ironically spilled the blood of an artist and made an art commentary, which triggered Himawari's hidden power to awaken. Curiosity was triggered. During their battle, Jura noticed her fighting and power was less like a Jinchuriki and more like a Biju. Curiosity was triggered. He noticed her healing factor was more like a Biju and not a Jinchuriki. Curiosity was triggered. You notice the theme? Curiosity. Take a drink every time I say curiosity. You have alcohol poisoning. Then Jura stopped going after Himawari, as other things got his interest, but he never forgot her. Curiosity remained. He even mentioned her power-up to Kawaki. She remained a target even when she didn't realize it. He's been in Konoha, but we never see Himawari and Jura run into each other. They've been kept apart narratively for a intentional reason. Now look at the current situation beyond the political landscape. Jura might potentially be in Konoha during a time where Jiraiya's chakra was just detected. Kobu is on the warpath for Shikamaru's head. He's looking for a smoking gun. Yeah. Now you have the Shinju leader in the village, potentially when Boruto's also in the village, about to crash out because Sarada was captured by Code.
Yeah, that timeline is kind of weird because I don't know if Boruto is going to be in the village the same time as Jura. I imagine that Boruto is going to find a way to follow Sarada before that happens. And if that's the case, then we just don't know why, like you see right here on the screen, we don't know why Borishiki emerged. So I do have to kind of like give it to Ikemoto. He kind of made the future a little bit more unpredictable in a way. And even if Boruto was in the village, I doubt he would do anything for Jura to be like, you know what, I'm gonna destroy this village. Unless the scene with Borishiki and Kawashiki is happening versus Jura. Maybe Jura enters the village, has the chat with Shikamaru, and then Boruto kind of like intervenes in a way. They get into a fight, boom. Him and Kawaki, or it could be Momoshiki and Kawaki fighting against Jura, trying to eliminate him or whatever. I already went over the fact that Momoshiki definitely wants Jura gone too. So it wouldn't be out of the ordinary for them to fight. So if they was to fight, I would say this scene makes a lot of sense. So then it's like, okay, what about the thing with Sarada? Like, where is she? Where is she? Is she in the Ten Tails base fighting against Hidari one-on-one? Like, is that a thing? I don't know. Can she even take on Code and Hidari by herself? If she could, that's badass. But I don't think so. So a lot of things are just left unclear to me. If Boruto and Kawaki are still in Konoha fighting against Jura, then what's going on with Sarada? And if Boruto is not in Konoha and he chased after Sarada, and us knowing that Jura just came to Konoha to talk to Shikamaru, why did Momoshiki take over Boruto's body? You know, I don't know. Like, those are some different timelines that I think is possible, but I just don't understand it right now. I probably will just thinking about it later on, but for right now, it is kind of confusing.
Have him read the rules book on shogi after Jura eats whatever it is that they're cooking and play a match of shogi with them.
Imagine if they did that.
Will tell Shikamaru what threat they're up against. For Ikemoto, it will be a good character writing moment to add more layers to the characters. We saw in Naruto's manga
I can definitely
that
see
Masashi Kishimoto did use shogi as a way to develop Asuma and Shikamaru. It also keeps Boruto's emotional state of mind intact. For a boy carrying the weight of the knowledge of multiple failed futures that Kashin Koji shared with him, this is one less worry and concern during a time where Boruto may not react in the calmest of ways. More importantly, Koji's other futures said Boruto would give himself up to Jura and the Shinju in order to save Sarada.
Now, when you put it like that, it does make sense. Shikamaru is the perfect person. And I'm gonna say this again. He's the perfect person to execute this mission. I mean, if anybody can be like a distraction towards Jura, it would be him. Play a game of shogi, have some tea, have a talk, get into his mind, and just see what type of person he is. You know, at the end of the day, I mean, this could lead to Jura actually liking Shikamaru. Because throughout the entirety of the series, nobody has tried to answer Jura's question. What is love? Like, can anybody sit down with him and actually talk to him about things that he's curious about? We don't know how it's gonna benefit him in the end. We don't know if it's gonna hurt him in the end. Nobody knows. But I have a gut feeling that it can only do more good than bad. Like I said, this is where Shikamaru's value can lie. It's not in the strength department. It's all in his brain. It's all in his brain. That's always been Shikamaru's greatest asset. That's always been how he was most useful to a team, his intellect. So right here would be the ultimate version of that. You sit down with the world's most dangerous villain while Boruto's out there saving Sarada, and you kind of keep him occupied until that part of the story is finished. And if everything goes well, Sarada is back in the village, and they end up having more information available to them to take Jura down. Like, I think it's a win-win. All Shikamaru has to do is not mess up and provoke him. And I think with Kashin Koji's warning, he'll be alright.
Jura out of that dimension gives Boruto a chance to find a way to alter that fate. He can beat Code, he can beat Hidari. He cannot defeat Jura just yet. Sometimes the most important battle isn't the one with the explosions. It's not the one with the giant Rasengans. It's not the one with the reality breaking powers. I know that's a shock to Battle Shonen fans, but that's not always the case. I get it. We want our long fights. We want our fights with the huge build up and emotional payoff and etc. And
so yeah, basically what he's saying is this is going to be a battle, but it's not going to be your traditional battle. There's no pum pum pow pow. It's more of a chess match. And the chess match is between Jura and Shikamaru. What Jura may reveal in these upcoming chapters, and not only what he may reveal, but maybe the knowledge he may gain. Some knowledge he may gain in these upcoming chapters will most likely help them in the future to defeat Jura. And it all depends on Shikamaru's answers to Jura's questions. That's what I think he's trying to say. Or that's what I got throughout the whole premise of the video. So yeah, I think that's going to be it for the video today. I could see why I ended up reacting to this. I mean, it's a video that I was planning to make, I just forgot all about it. It's not that I forgot about it, it's just that with this hiatus going on, I had to kind of like save all the videos, spread them out a little bit more, you know, things like that. But I don't know, I may make my own little version of this video. We'll see how it goes. I know when I just think about this video more like later on, I'm gonna come up with new things that I want to say. So if you guys see another video exactly like this for me just analyzing this whole situation, do not be surprised. I'm telling you guys that right now. But anyway, yeah, that's gonna be it for today's video. So as always, well, first of all, let me say Naruto Explained. I'm gonna leave the link to his channel down below in the description, so go check him out. And as always, if you guys enjoyed this video and don't mind seeing more like this in the near future, go ahead and like the video, comment, subscribe, and turn on them post notifications so you know whenever I upload or go live for chapter spoilers. And until my next one, I'll see you boys and girls later. And I'm out. Peace.